Welcome back. I am Coach Day, Model Day at D Model Phase, a model training company where we provide you with the tools and resources to be bold on your model pursuit. If you don't know, we are currently in our study of pose course. So we're just basically going over different tips to prepare you how to pose on camera, ways to prepare you before you even step in front of the camera. And that way you go in front of that camera feeling confident. You go in front of your audience just like ready to wow them. So today we're going to speak on different tips that you can take and utilize in your modeling career before you step in front of the camera. So tip number one is assess the scene. So when you step out on any set, look around, assess what's happening, like know what it is that you are about to pose for. So let's say you're about to pose for an eyeglass company, whether it's sunglasses, eyewear, bifocals, whatever it is. Identify, okay, what is the scene? Do I have props aside from the glasses? If I am utilizing the glasses, start to think, create a story in your head. That's something that I like to do. Create a story in your head to kind of help you figure out, okay, I'm selling these glasses. How am I going to sell them without words? How am I going to sell these glasses so that a company will see it and be like, you know what? I need those. Or someone that's watching the commercial be like, yo, like I need these glasses because the way that she or he just portrayed it in this 30-second clip, I need these glasses. So assess the scene, figure out, what is happening, and kind of get in your mind, like put yourself in that frame so that way when you are in front of the camera, it will portray. Tip number 2, what and who are you posing for? So a lot of times I've noticed models will go into a brand shoot or whatever you were booked for, and you don't know who or what you're posing for. You're just like, oh, well, I got booked. That's great. I'm happy you got booked, but we need to identify who and what we're posing for, because let's say you got booked for something and you show up and now you realize that, wait a minute, I didn't agree to this, or I don't want to be a part of this or attach this to my brand. So before you get there, make sure you know who and what you're posing for. Ask questions like, how did you come up with, if you're speaking with like the designer, stylist, or whoever you're modeling for, ask them questions. How did you come up with this brand? Where did this inspiration come from? How did you come up with this specific line? Where did that inspiration come from? Ask questions, because it's gonna not only show the designer, stylist, or whoever you book for, it's going to show them the interest that you have, but it's also going to show your level of professionalism within the industry, because you're just not a yes man. You're not just going to jump at any opportunity. So make sure you know that. And then it also will assist you when it comes to posing, because if you kind of have a backstory and understand why this collection is coming out, why this designer stylist is doing things and have this set up the way that they have things set up, it's going to give you that inspiration you need to like really put forth all your effort into your photos, into posing. So make sure you know who and what you're posing for. Okay. Step 3. What are you wearing? Yes, you need to know what you're wearing. So whether you're providing, like, let's say you might be doing a jewelry, you're modeling for a jewelry collection, and you're providing your own clothes, make sure that it, of course, check with the wardrobe team. Hey, does this work out well with what you all are trying to do? More than likely, they're going to have you bring options if it is something of where you're providing your own attire and they didn't already approve it before you got to set, or if it's something that the team is going to provide, then you need to be mindful of their pieces and be mindful of your movement. Because if I'm wearing a prom dress, I can't do all the extravagant editorial poses that I would be able to do if I had on just like, a summer dress. You have to be mindful of what you're wearing and your movement with them. And then also, if typically there is some type of mirror around, go in front of the mirror before you step in front of the camera and kind of like practice, different movement. Like, okay, I can move this far. I can bend down this, I can bend down here. I can reach up this high. Like, do different things before you step in front of the camera, and that way when you get in front of the camera, you're not wasting money and wasting time by trying to experiment, but you kind of already have an idea backstage of like how much movement you can do within the piece that you're wearing. Okay, and number 4, talk to the photographer. Now, don't talk to them and be like annoying because they're still there to do their job, but talk to the photographer and ask them questions. Like one thing I like to do is I like to tell the photographer, I'm like, hey, like if there's something that I'm doing and you kind of feel like I can do it a little bit better, push me. Like, don't be afraid to push me. Of course, you all will have that understanding of, you know, have respect when speaking to each other. But I always tell the photographers, hey, like, I'm an open book. Like, don't be afraid to communicate with me if I'm doing something. Like, I appreciate feedback, like, because you're working with this person in a short frame of time. So you're not going to be able to really, you know, build up much rapport, but talk to them in advance and let them know, like, hey, like, how long have you been doing this? I've been doing this for this long. You know, I'm not perfect. I love to learn. You know, photographers really do appreciate that because a lot of photographers have that creative director mind frame. So if you kind of just let them know, like, hey, like, you can direct me as needed, like, you know what I mean? Give me the feedback, and you're going to be able to make and create a beautiful, you know, environment for you both to work in, as well as it'll show on camera. All right. And then our last step is, you know, feeling the set, kind of similar to assessing the scene, but feeling the set, explore the space. So this can kind of assist with you talking with the photographer as well, asking like, hey, like, what area is off limits? What area can we go? That's one thing I like to do. I like to explore. Like, yes, we're gonna do our, you know, the standard, you know, backdrop and all that, but like, hey, like, I see this really dope scene over here with this chair. I see this dope scene over here, like this wall, it has pretty colors. Like, assess the scene, explore the space if you have the time to, before you get on set, before you get in front of the camera, and that way you can really, you know, create different stories within the scene, within the for your photos. You want to have as many options as possible when you are in front of the camera, because it's gonna give you the opportunity to, of course, expand your portfolio, but also give the designer, stylist, whoever booked you, give them the opportunity to have a wide range of photos to choose from for their product. So those are a couple tips you can take before you step out in front of the camera and begin your posing. If you have any further questions, please do not hesitate to ask them. Email us at dmodelphase@gmail.com. We look forward to assisting you to being bold on your model pursuit. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you are in the know of all the great things and all the great tips that we have in store for you. And we'll see you next time.